Hello traders, and thanks for tuning in to Exness's Market Outlook. In this video, we're going to be looking at a possible idea for a trade this week, the rationale behind it, and what traders who were to take the position would need to be aware of. But before that, let's look back at the performance of last week's idea. Last week's idea was a potential buy for natural gas after it had mostly completed an inverted head and shoulders with a possible move up to around 3 or 3.20. The idea was basically accurate, with the price having moved slightly above $3, but it still seems to be active, with the potential for another move up by natural gas over the next few days. I'm Michael Stark, Financial Content Manager at Exness, and joining us to give the idea for this week is Stanislav Bernikov, Trading Specialist. Welcome, Stan.
Hello, Michael. Thank you for having me today.
What's the idea then, Stan, for position for this week, potentially, do you think?
I'm thinking of a potential long position for Euro versus Japanese yen. So if we take a look at the chart, we see that it's actually quite robust. It's moving in a good trend. It's consolidating in a triangle, which is a continuation formation. It moves close to all technical references, including 20-day moving average. And it looks as if we have some accumulation here and probably readiness to break out through the ceiling. So I'm trying to get a little bit away from American dollar, considering that it's already priced in. I mean, probabilities of the move for American dollar is priced in. So Euro yen is regaining strength, and that's what's visible on the chart. So it's close to the interesting levels in comparison to American dollar index. So I mean, probably it might be more interesting from a technical standpoint.
So you mentioned that it's better, probably better not to become too involved with the American dollar. Can you describe the rationale behind the trade from a fundamental perspective or news-based perspective for Euro yen?
All right, so as for American dollar, we've seen some hawkishness of Fed last week's that were driving American dollar up. While this might also represent some opportunity, but another trend which is visible in different region in Asia is the revival of China and PMI, which was incredibly strong. It was 52.6%. And with that, we see some outflow from defensive assets which are associated usually with bonds of Japan and Japanese yen. So with that, we see a weakening of Japanese yen as a response to this, risk on sentiment getting back to the picture. So USD/JPY, British pound versus JPY, and Euro versus JPY, they get on the move and they start moving with that. So EURJPY is getting on our list, and in case something happens with the American dollar, probably some rise gets in the picture again. For example, on Friday, we still have some defense because Euro probably won't react much on possible fluctuations of American dollar. So on the one hand, we see strength of Euro. On the other hand, we see weakness of yen, which is driven by the easing sentiment for Asia. So I think that has a strong foundation for building a trading idea.
And for traders who were to take this position, this potential buy for Euro yen this week, what do you think is some of the most important events on the economic calendar that they would need to be monitoring?
Sure, it's super important week because we have labor market publication on Friday, non-farm payrolls and unemployment, which will indicate what we had in February. So the forecasted number is 203K, which is a little bit weaker than previously, but this number can easily become stronger than anticipated. In this case, American dollar will again get back on the radar of traders, and speculation with American dollar can start getting back again. And also, we have Bank of Japan interest rate decision, which probably won't change anything in the picture because it's minus 0.1. just as anticipated. Probably it will stay as expected, but maybe some comments of governor of Bank of Japan might create some volatility. Usually I think that will just strengthen the current trend of weakening yen.
Okay, so in summary, the potential idea for a trade this week is a buy for Euro yen, and the price of that might move up from the recent range and possibly test even above 147. The primary rationale behind that is risk on in many Asian markets, with the strong PMI last week from China, stronger than expected, having encouraged money to move out of many defensive instruments, including the yen and Japanese bonds. The critical release to monitor for traders who were to take the idea this week is the American job report, the NFP, and average hourly earnings and American unemployment on Friday. And also on Friday morning GMT, there is the meeting of the Bank of Japan with some possible comments in the press conference afterwards. So thanks very much, Stan, for being here with us today and for giving us the idea for a potential trade.
Yeah, thank you, Michael. Don't forget, this is just the idea, so do your own research and never forget to manage risk.